here we go, motherfuckers. Sorry, I just saw Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm, like, really into it.
Yeah, we're really into the lack of PG.
Yeah.
We're liking the RX. Hello, and welcome to Cassette Take, where you can eject wherever you want, but please don't forget to rewind. I'm Ethan.
I'm Annmarie.
And Annmarie, will we just go see again?
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Deadpool and motherfucking Wolverine.
Of course we go see
Yes,
it again.
we had to. I mean, honestly, and it shows in the box office, all the whole 211 million that you saw for that domestic opening weekend, definitely exclusively all because of us.
Probably.
Yeah, absolutely. No marketing campaigns or nothing, just us talking about the movie. And, you know, it spread like wildfire.
You're welcome, world. Wait, I do want to say one thing. Our theater, we went on a Wednesday night. It was packed.
Oh, yes. Yes, it was probably the most packed it's been since we saw Civil War, which, you know, a lot of people went to go see like in the middle of the weekday, which I was really surprised about. But yeah, this is the most packed I've seen this theater in quite some time.
Yeah, and again, it just goes to show the rewatchability of Deadpool and Wolverine. Like, we had a great time the second time and caught more stuff about it.
Oh, sorry. Inside Out 2.
Oh.
Inside Out, which isn't really some time. Like, I completely blocked out of my mind for a brief moment. That's the biggest I've seen this park in the fall.
Well, you know, Inside Out 2 did cross $1 billion, so...
And still chugging along.
Let's go!
Yes, but go ahead, continue. I interrupted you.
No,
enthusiastically.
It really shocked me because, you know, usually you see stuff taper off a little bit, but it goes to show you, Sean Levy, Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, they know what they're doing.
Yes, they do. And, wow, you know, we caught so much more this time and all, but we already talked about our spoiler thoughts and, like, our big ol', non-spoilery thoughts and, like, every thought we had about this movie in our previous 2 reviews, which you can check out on our channel anytime you so desire.
Shameless plug.
Woo! But, yeah, no, we do have a few things to talk about today, Annmarie.
Yay! I'm so excited. It's the Nerdy Annmarie show.
Yes, the Nerdy Annmarie show, new branding and everything.
Let me get my cap on. Let me get
When
my
did you
X-Men shirt on.
When did you get that thing printed out? Holy shit.
Don't worry about it. Dr. Doom, who?
Yes, so on today's episode, we are going to be talking about 3 different things. One being Superman wrapping its production as of, what was it, yesterday? Or was
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Yesterday. I'm confusing my days here. And then we had some new set photos from my child Star Wars, my little boy Star Wars.
That's yours.
Yes, it is mine. Yours is Marvel's. Yes, sure, whatever. But anyway, outside of movie genealogy here, we also are going to be talking about all the news that came out of Marvel's Comic-Con's panel and everything Marvel that has happened in the past week or so, because it got crazy since July 24th.
I'm screaming.
25th.
Let's get into it.
All right, so we're going to get into it. Fast forwarding on to our first topic. Annmarie, what would that be?
Oh, James Gunn. He couldn't let Marvel have all the fun this week. He wrapped Superman. It's just called Superman, not Superman Legacy anymore. And David Cornsweet is probably the happiest man alive because on his story, he started eating chocolate cake.
Did he?
Yeah.
Dang.
He doesn't need the Superman body anymore. Yet.
I love that. I mean, that'd be the first thing I do.
Yeah,
with him.
Getting all that shape, have chocolate cake afterwards. I'm so excited. Listen, I love James Gunn. I know he's done so much for Marvel, and I really hope he does so much for DC as a creator. And to have Superman wrap, it just makes me giddy. Like, it's next year. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, in my mind, it was like practically yesterday that this movie was just announced in development.
Yeah, they moved really quick on this.
Yeah, like an efficient way of production, just moving along. And honestly, that's something we haven't seen from DC in a very long time.
Don't drag them.
Oh, I think so. You know what DC stands for? A dragging corpse.
I was gonna say defending Cavill, but Deadpool did that more. Spoilers.
We're gonna remove that.
No.
But Anyway, yeah, like, I'm so excited for this new Superman take. I've never really thought about Superman as being one of my favorite heroes. I like the Henry Cavill version. I thought it was solid. I think my favorite is probably the OG, Christopher Reeves one.
Oh, of course.
I mean, that's probably the answer for most people. And I just feel like we need that sense of wonder of Superman again, not just like this existential, dramatic kind of vision exclusively. Like, you can have elements of that, but I think what James Gunn is going for is like that Christopher Reeves style, where it's like more for standing for hope, and Superman being like that innocently minded beacon of like, I just need to help everyone here, and just make sure that bright smiley, almost not commercial, but like commercially hopefully, or hopeful.
Well, James Gunn
Mixture of adjectives.
Yeah. James Gunn described the Superman as a person of good in a world that's not always
Yes.
good.
Why didn't I just say that?
Yeah, I know. It's like the great power, great responsibility thing. I get it. But no, really, like, I'm a huge fan of Superman. I grew up reading that comic. I love Lois Lane. She's like one of my favorite characters. Oh my God, Rachel Brosnahan, welcome. I'm so excited for you. But I'm just so pumped to see what they do because, yeah, DC has been such lackluster and they need a good movie, like,
Yes.
really bad.
Like one that's in their mainline universe, because, I mean, they've had some strong hits. It's just not in their mainline universe.
And they are playing catch up. Like, they're trying to catch Marvel at this point. And so if Superman gets off to a good start, who knows? And also, I'm really interested in this Superman because it looks so different. We've seen so many set photos of Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, Hawker, Mr. Terrific. It makes me wonder, like, they are not going traditional with this. Like, where are they going with those?
Yeah, and you know what? I was thinking that this DC was so much better at doing the individual movies, like movies taking place in their own universe kind of thing, that I'm like, you know what? Maybe you don't need to do your own universe thing. Just kind of do what you have been doing, like with making your own Dark Knight movies, making your own Superman movies, and like have them stand on their own, because those were the ones where DC really thrived in, and outside Green Lantern. But, maybe this Superman movie is going to be the start of something that proves me wrong. I hope so. That'd be great. But, history has proven that they're more likely to thrive when they make these movies that stand alone.
Yeah, I think people don't want that, though. I think people want them to be together. They want to see Superman and Batman fight better.
Then it better be damn good. And I'm sure with James Gunn at the helm, it will be. Yeah. But, we need to see it in the theater for me to make that valid statement.
Next year, July, let's go.
Yes. So, yeah, I mean, hey, guys, Superman just wrapped. We are so excited for it. We saw the post from James Gunn, who is so passionate about this thing. It gets your heart just bursting out of your chest of happiness, of superhero comic happiness. And it's awesome. So what do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of the set photo? You have any theories about what you saw in the set photo on their last day of shooting? Are you excited for this movie? Do you think DC should make standalone rather than go back to the task of trying to make a new universe from the ground up? Whatever you're thinking, let us know your takes on our tapes in those comments down below. And Annmarie, we're going to be fast forwarding on to our next topic here. So what's our next topic?
Well, your favorite topic, Star Wars.
Whoa. Sorry, if you can tell, it's my favorite.
Yeah, I can tell. Skeleton Crew, some set photos leaked. Or not leaked. They were put out.
Yeah, if they were leaked, it was very professionally.
Yeah, really good set photos.
No, Skeleton Crew, they released some set photos and some stills, actually, I would say more so than set photos from the show. It's supposed to be like a Goonies show that's showrun, I believe, by John Watts.
Oh,
the
Spider-Man.
Director of the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, and he did a phenomenal job with those movies.
Those movies are a good trilogy. I think people don't give him enough credit.
Yes, and he drew a lot of influence from like John Hughes for like the teenage aspect of Spider-Man and Peter Parker for those movies. And you really could tell, and there was a lot of love and nostalgia put into those movies as well. And that was nice. And I feel like with Skeleton Crew here, he's going for that Goonies vibe, like those early 90s, late 80s kind of adventure, exploration, little kid-based kind of shows where, you feel like an adult could watch, but it's mainly meant for children, but it makes those adults feel like children again because it just brings back that sense of adventure and exploration that Star Wars has truly always been about. And yeah, I am so looking forward to it. I think all these set photos really do capture that.
I hope so. No, I hate to be the negative Nelly, but everyone's gotta have one. And I do hope it's good. Obviously, I love Star Wars too. I don't want to see it fail. I just don't know. Like, I have no idea what this TV show's about. Like, set photos are cool and everything. Do you know when it's coming out? Is it this year? Is it next year?
That's a very good question.
Because Star Wars wasn't at Comic-Con. So I feel like, if they went to Comic-Con, they would have revealed more about this.
They weren't in Hall H. They were at Comic-Con.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they just weren't in Hall H. At least as far as I know, because I think there were some comic announcements.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I love Jude Law. I think he's awesome, and I'm excited to see him in this. I love John Watts. I trust him.
December 3rd.
Oh, so it's like this year.
Yeah.
Wow, we're finally getting some Star Wars content. Let's go.
We're getting a Christmas time Star Wars content.
Oh my God, the Christmas Star Wars? That's not.
Now, last time we had something like that, wasn't that Rise of Skywalker?
Oh no, we don't talk about Bruno. Disney reference.
More like a Bruzo on a reputation.
Yeah.
But yeah, just these set photos. I really hope it takes us out of that division like the Acolyte caused, and it's not just the Acolyte, but like a couple other projects.
I forgot the Acolyte was this year. I thought it was last year.
Oh no, it happened. I know it feels like a distant memory at times.
I try to forget about that.
Yeah, damn. I'm not going to talk too much on it, but it wasn't good. It wasn't too terrible. It was just below mediocre, and I just. It's a Star Wars comic kind of mentality where it's there. It's a story that was written, and I just didn't care to read it. It probably had a cool cover or something.
Do you think the Star Wars heads of the table, the round table, do you think they're looking at the reviews of Acolyte and kind of like, can they do anything with Skeleton Crew? Like,
No.
I'm not saying it's on the level of the Acolyte. We have no idea. We don't know. We're not insiders. But is there anything that they can do, like maybe in the editing room, to make sure this is a banger?
I mean, we don't know because we don't know what footage they're working with and what was done. But I believe, I could be wrong, but their production timeline was after the Chapek era. I mean, of course,
Thank God.
I mean, I could be wrong about that. I don't know, but I know with the Acolyte, it was during the end of the Chapek era, but it's still during. That's when they went into production. So with Skeleton Crew, I'm pretty sure that's when Iger came back. So we'll have to see if we can tell, because obviously with Iger, it's, more focused on quality over quantity, and with Chapek, it was the other way around. So, man, it's such a toss-up because it's so close, but we'll have to see.
I'm quickly looking up. It was at the end of the Chapek era. It started production September 2022, like when they started filming. But Bob Iger came back in November of 2022. So
that's when it started production, or
started production, started filming in September, and they ended in January. So something in the middle. So you never know.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of gets me a little worried, but I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, John Watts is a little more familiar with the mechanisms of Disney, but again, Lucasfilm is really his direct roof over his head there, so. I don't know. It's going to be a toss-up. Maybe we get something like a kid's version of Andor. I don't know, which, by the way, I've been rewatching Andor recently.
Really?
Yeah, oh man, it's like so night and day. I was watching it with someone, and we got to the One Way Out episode, and this is the guy I watched The Acolyte with, and he turns to me, he's like, what is this? This is good writing. This is incredible. How do you go from this to The Acolyte? And I just kind of like shrugged. I didn't know what to tell him. But, yeah, it's going to be a toss-up, especially if the production period was part of the Chapek era. I don't know. I really don't know. I wish I could say there's a new hope out there to really bring in the crowds and bring in the hype and excitement. These set photos, I feel like, are leaning more that way, just the vibe I'm getting from them, but I don't know. We'll have to see.
Crossing my fingers.
Yes. But, guys, we want to hear from y'all and find out what you're thinking about these Star Wars Skeleton Crew set photos. Are you excited for this new Star Wars show? Are you a little worried about it ever since The Acolyte came out, or just because it was part of the Chapek era? Guys, I don't know. Star Wars is in a very interesting situation right now, so we want to hear your thoughts, no matter what they are, positive, negative. It's a good conversation to have because they're not making anything right now. That's really going to be the thing to get people too excited about.
We need a Star Wars Messiah.
Star Wars Jesus.
Yes.
No,
Thrawn? I won't get you to it.
Oh man, wow.
Yeah.
I think it went up a bit. Anyway, with that not so esoteric humor, yeah, guys. So whatever you're thinking, let us know your takes on our tapes in those comments down below. And with that, Annmarie, we are going to fast forward to our final topic of this episode. What may that be?
Oh, Beckel?
It's your words.
Hold on. Let me restart. Buckle the fuck up. Here we go, motherfuckers. Sorry, I just saw Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm, like, really into it.
Yeah, we're really into the lack of PG.
Yeah.
We're liking the RX.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's my turn to geek out. So Marvel was at Comic-Con, and they talked about a couple of films, and I want to run through them real quick. There's two of them that don't really matter as much. I'm kidding. Love them all. We love them. So they talked about the 3 upcoming films that are coming out next year in February, May, and July. The first one was not Falcon and Winter Soldier. Excuse me. Captain America, Brave New World.
That was the whole point of that show.
Sorry. Brave New World. Looks great. We liked it. Comic-Con, they were kind of like, yeah, we liked filming this movie. Anthony Mackie's super funny, though. I really like him. I'm, like, so pumped for it.
Yeah, and then Harrison Ford showing up and speaking the words of adamantium, which, honestly, that's just wonderful to hear. It's one of those nerdy moments that gets you going.
Yeah, I loved it so much. Like, super cool. We've already seen a trailer for it, even though it's 7 months out. So if you thought the Quiet Place trailers played a lot, oh, man, we're going to get a lot of this trailer.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's not a scary movie. Like, it's not a horror movie, so there's not really too many jump scares to be spoiled by.
Yeah. Well,
unless it's like a big Marvel twist where, like, suddenly, ooh, like, government.
I just hope, I'm really...
I'm sorry.
I can't.
Sorry, it's just like Captain America and the IRS.
They got us. I'm excited they're going back to the Winter Soldier. That's like super pumped for them. Hopefully it's good. Next thing they talked about was Thunderbolts.
Asterisk.
Oh, sorry.
Thunderbolts.
How am I supposed to say that?
Thunderbolts with an asterisk at the end.
Okay, whatever. They're probably going to be named Dark Avengers at the end, so whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
I'm super excited. Oh, sorry.
Oh, hello, AI. Anyway.
I'm excited for Thunderbolts. There's not too much for them. They talked about how much they enjoyed filming this movie. We know David Harbour's in it, Sebastian Stan. Florence Pugh's leading it. We don't know too much about it, but it's kind of far out.
I think from what I did hear, I could be wrong about this, but the plot synopsis involves each character And I'm not sure if they're assigned by like a government agency or whatever, like whether it be like one for Russia, one for like America, one for like other countries, whatever. But they're all assigned to the same mission. It's kind of like a trap. So it might be one of those like, what's it called? A motley crew of enemies to lovers situation, but like a group loving, good old group loving.
I just hope it's better than Suicide Squad. That's all I can say. But no, they can't say much about it. They're kind of far out, and so we might get something in October or November.
Yeah, and also Feige probably has a gun to their head, if they say anything.
They're like, we loved working together. He's like, has snipers everywhere.
Like eyes like turn red.
Did you? No, I really like this cast. I'm excited. The plot sounds interesting to me, but there's not too much to talk about here. So we move.
Next.
Hold on.
Oh.
I'm getting excited.
Oh, okay, I thought you like.
It's like recharging right now.
Oh, okay. You take USB-C?
Yes.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Fantastic Four has been one of my favorite comic books of all time. I did a little Anna Needs about them. I absolutely love the Fantastic Four. I grew up reading these comic books along with the X-Men. And I'm going to be honest, I was nervous about this cast. I think I talked to you about it. I was not sure about Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, and I was not sure about Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. I'm in love. Like, I'm so excited now for this. The way they talk about the Fantastic Four is what is in the comic books, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited. It's in the 60s, in these bright colors, and Pedro and Vanessa have the best chemistry, like, on stage and in interviews. I'm screaming.
Oh my gosh, yeah, especially with Pedro and Vanessa, like, the chemistry was oh my gosh, blew the roof off the place. And also, the chemistry with the car and lack of chemistry with the car in the ground. I love how it was flying around. I don't know. That was probably the least impressive thing of the whole age thing, but I don't know, there was something about just a flying car that you couldn't really see strings on. I'm like, I don't know, there's something oddly satisfying about that.
It looks so cool. And oh my goodness, I've been dying to talk about this so much because, yeah, we've got other Fantastic Four movies, and I will say, guilty pleasure. I like Silver Surfer, very guilty pleasure film. I know it's not great.
I love his design.
Don't come at me. I do love his design.
Never seen any of the Silver Surfer movies, but I think there's only one. But
I was like, wait.
But I've never seen it. But I've always loved the character's design.
Mm-hmm.
Thought it was so cool.
But one thing that those movies don't get right all the time is the relationship between Reed and Sue. Now, granted, I can't speak on this. I saw some leaked footage, but I think what the biggest giveaway was when Vanessa and Pedro were talking about the relationship of Reed and Sue. And they talked about how this is Marvel's power couple. Like, Reed and Sue are so important to the Marvel universe. But what I loved that they talked about little more is that their relationship is not perfect. And that made me geek out so much. Because if you know me, my favorite comic books are when Reed's an asshole. And he's not an asshole because he's an asshole. He's an asshole because he's so smart he forgets about manners. And I really hope they lean into that because I want to see that side of Sue. How do you deal with someone like that? How do you deal with your brother and this rock monster fighting? I want that so freaking bad. And so them talking about it and the little footage that I saw, they have to act perfect, but they're not perfect. And that made me geek out.
Yeah, I remember listening to your Fantastic Four video
Plug.
Did the other day.
Link in bio.
Link in bio, link in here, link in smash those buttons. But no, I remember you saying that, and hearing something like that where they're leaning into that it's not perfect relationship. Like, Reed is a smart ass, like a literal smart ass.
Yeah.
And Pedro, I think, is really good at playing those characters that you know, he is such a nice guy. So it's very kind of jarring to see like him play someone that is really an ass and just kind of like a jaded character that thinks he's smarter than everyone else, and wants to be a loner, but, you know, has to work with a crew. I mean, every time he's done that, it's like paid off to be considered to be one of the greatest shows or movies of all time, like Mandalorian, The Last of Us. Like every time it's paid off in dividends, and man, I'm here for it. You just see the chemistry he has with the cast, so he's probably going to be allowed to be the biggest asshole to these characters, and like he's probably not going to hold back because he knows all his cast. He's possibly pretty close with them at this point, judging by that chemistry. So there might not be too much to hold back.
I'm just so excited. Like, I can't believe what they're doing. And, like, to get Galactus, like, we're getting Galactus? That doesn't happen. He better not be a big storm cloud. He better be a huge...
So I had an interesting thought about the Galactus thing. I saw some of the leaked footage.
Okay.
Where there's, like, a scene where Galactus leans in. I'm not sure if it's a building window or if it's a... like a spaceship. I'm like, if that's a building window, it kind of makes me think, like, what, is Galactus gonna be a small boy? We doing small boy hours? Small boy planet eating out hours? Like, I don't... When I think of Galactus, I think he's standing right next to Earth if it's like a basketball.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So, like, if he's just his eye, like, this window is like a visor to him, this one window in the building is like a visor to him, I'm not sure how I feel about that. Oh. I don't know, maybe, but we're hearing it out of context. Like, again, the footage wasn't, like, clean. I couldn't, like, decipher if it was, like, in a large spaceship or what have you. But, I don't know. Well, we'll have to see. But I love Galactus. I love his design. My introduction to the character was in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Great video game, by the way. Highly recommend Marvel vs. Capcom. But yeah, I saw the character and I'm like, oh, I love this design. It's sick. And then I like looked more at the character like, he eats planets? Bro, that's so cool. Like, no diet for this, bro. Like, awesome. Want some sauce with that? But no, like, it's just so cool. And like, just he's so simple that there's not really much you can do with that character. I like that. I like the villains where you don't always need to make them so complex. Like, they want one thing, and he's just hungry.
Yeah.
And he just wants to eat. Just balls that millions of people live on. And I find that both hilarious and terrifying at the same time.
I'm so excited.
It's almost like a disaster film, almost. Like Mother Nature. You can't really stop Mother Nature, and all these people, like, are the victims of it. But, like... you know, it's still technically kind of a villain of sorts.
I'm so excited. I think people who are nervous about his height, I think you kind of can lean back on the Eternals a little bit because we saw the Celestials be so big and tall. So I think we don't have the full context yet, but we'll see. I'm so pumped up.
Yeah, he better be like, you know, Harlem Globetrotting the Earth or something. Like, I just hope he's not, you know, Godzilla size. That's all I'm hoping for. Unless you're bringing Godzilla in to fight him, there's no reason to make him like Ultraman size. Come on. What are we doing?
Oh,
but, yeah, next up, though.
Yes. So that was the 3. And then they talked about the next 2 Avengers films. Now, the first thing that they announced, Russo brothers are back. Super excited.
Yep.
Love the Russo brothers.
Not only the Russo brothers, but the original screenwriter for those Avengers movies and Winter Soldier and Civil War.
Makes me so happy to have them all back. Like, I'm so excited. And they talked about how much Secret War means to them. Again, I've read the comic. I don't think it's the best comic, to be totally honest with you, but it is a good fit. Now, then they say, oh, well, you know, Secret Wars, you need Dr. Doom. So they announced Avengers Doomsday, which is the 5th one right before Secret Wars. And guess who walks out?
Yep, the quote-unquote best actor in the world, playing the best villain in the world. And that would be R.D. motherfucking J.
He's like, okay.
Wait, can I say something?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, so I can't take credit for this joke, but I just feel like it needs mention. Doug Walker, the nostalgia critic, I saw him react to this, and he made this little image graphically designed where it's like Doctor Doom little. That just made me crack up so much. Anyway, go on.
This has been talked about a lot by a lot of people. I know people are saying Marvel's desperate. They need to do something. I don't think they're desperate. I think this is a good move. As a Fantastic Four fan and a Doctor Doom fan, like, your Thrawn in Star Wars is my Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
Like, that's how much he means to me. And there's... Kevin Feige, listen up. I got some stuff for you that you better listen. Not what I would have done. I would like to see Doctor Doom done right, finally. But this is what we're going to get. Now, Kevin. I don't know which way you're going. I really don't. I don't know if it's a Tony Stark variant. I don't know if he is original recipe Doctor Doom. I really don't know. I hope you go variant ways because I'm sorry, if Sam takes off his helmet and punches him in the face, he's not going to be like, Victor Von Doom, comic book accurate villain. No, he's going to be like, Tony Stark, hey, bro.
Yeah, I think Deadpool would say that.
Yeah. Listen. Again, Doctor Doom is my Thrawn.
Mm-hmm.
He's so important to me. You, Marvel, have a villain problem. You kill off your villains way too soon. We've seen that in Deadpool and all the other Marvel movies. I swear to God, if you have RDJ be Doctor Doom and you kill him off, fine. If you kill him off in Secret Wars, whatever. But if you don't introduce a different actor to play Doctor Doom, I will never, ever forgive you. Doctor Doom is such an important character. He can be here for the long run. Do not waste him.
I think RDJ is getting paid way too much for him to be a one-trick pony and killed off.
Well, if he's killed off after Secret Wars and then they're like, oh, but this is the original Doctor Doom and it's a different actor, Cillian Murphy, whatever, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, which, by the way, you know, since we're on the subject of Secret Wars, I never read Secret Wars, right?
Oh, so you need to read it?
Yeah, but I do know, like, some of the subject matter, right? And correct me if I'm wrong on any of this.
Go for it.
So it's like basically the ultimate Marvel world collides with the, like, OG one, right?
Yes.
And, you know, it's kind of like this battle planet situation where, like, they're fighting. So what if in this case it's the 20th? Because they're keeping, okay, spoilers for the next 10 seconds of Deadpool and Wolverine. So basically they're keeping the 20th century Fox universe around. They've said that. They're established that. Staying. Wade and
Friends.
Wade and friends are here to stay. And I'm like, you didn't do that for nothing.
No.
You didn't do that for nothing. So what the 20th Century Fox is the ultimate universe. And they're going to go up against this, you know, our MCU universe. And Doom, like, I don't know, is Doom the one that kind of initiates, like, Secret Wars or, like, what?
Yeah, and I'll go into my next point. It's Doom and the Maker, but yeah.
Okay.
But that's interesting. I did not think of that, to be totally honest.
I mean, if you're going to do Secret Wars, you need one universe and another universe, right?
To collide, yeah.
So 20th Century Fox, and because it technically was supposed to be dead, and now it's alive.
Yeah, you could I think that would get a big pop, too, because you do need something huge.
Yeah, and they didn't bring back all the heroes in Deadpool Wolverine, you know, which you really can't. That would make your budget go up the wazoo. But, like, now you do have a budget that's going to be going up the wazoo.
Yeah.
With Secret Wars and Doomsday. So, I mean, I'd say that'd be the way to go. And to follow up with what you were saying about, like, Robert Downey Jr. playing Doomsday, I really like it. I've heard, I'm not going to take credit for this, but it's just, I've heard so many of our inspirations for, like, podcast talking, like John Campea and Jeremy Johns, talking about, like, well, what if the world's smartest man or, like, the greatest defender became the world's greatest threat? And I love that. And I think to instead create a Doom where it's like starting from the ground up and we don't know who it is. Any people that have hung around with the MCU long enough but never read the comics or all the other stuff, don't know who he is. You know, to have RDJ in this multiverse saga, if you will, come into play as an alternate version of like something that could have gone wrong with Tony Stark, I think that's brilliant. Of course, it all comes down to execution. One way or another, it all comes down to execution. We got to see how it all rolls out and if they're able to do it right. But the concept alone, I am hyped for that.
You stole my thunder because I was going to talk about that. Dr. Doom is important in Secret Wars, but there's another player important in Secret Wars, and that's the Maker. Now, if you don't know, the Maker is a Reed Richards that basically went mad. Reed Richards is the smartest guy in the universe in the comics. Well, we haven't been introduced to Reed Richards yet. We've been introduced to Tony Stark. So they are kind of taking the Maker and putting it in with Dr. Doom, which I'm totally fine with too. I think that's actually super cool that they're doing something like that. That made me feel a little bit better when I heard them talk about it more. I'm just interested of how do you bring this Dr. Doom in? I shared a theory with you, which, spoilers for Deadpool and Wolverine, they brought up this thing in Deadpool and Wolverine about anchor beings. Well, what if Tony Stark was the anchor being for the MCU and they try to replace him and they grabbed a Tony Stark Victor Von Doom? Now, I know you don't love it.
Yeah, I mean, like, here's the thing with anchor beings. Like, I love the concept. I think it's neat and all that. But I gotta say, like, for them to just kind of rehash essentially the Deadpool and Wolverine plot, I think is so stupid. It is so stupid to do that because you've done it already. You did that plot line with Deadpool and Wolverine. I love the idea of using the concept of, you know, Iron Man being the, you know, that anchor being. But what if it's like they have to fight for that, you know, what if these universes have to fight over an anchor being?
That actually kind of cool.
Yeah, so that could be where things are going. Like RDJ, they have to fight over RDJ.
Oh, you sold me. I mean, sold.
That's my theory. Like, I could be wrong.
Do you think he shows up in Fantastic Four, like even as an end credit scene, or even like they mention a Dr. Doom in Fantastic Four? Because again, he's very linked to the Fantastic Four, and it's kind of weird they announced RDJ right before the Fantastic Four started shooting.
I mean, I would say he's probably going to be a post-credit scene, like kind of like a Thanos, like I'm going to do it myself kind of thing.
It's short build-up. That's the only thing that makes me nervous, like very short build-up.
Yeah, see, that's the thing that I'm like, are we already jumping to Secret Wars already? Because I know that we're focusing more on the quality over quantity thing again, but like, what changed in the plans? Like, are you cutting corners so you can get here?
I think they want to be done with the multiverse. I think they're like, this did not work. Like, let's get out of here.
I mean, I get that, but at the same time, it's like, how much are you going to be willing to sacrifice to bite the bullet, you know? Like, especially after a big hit like Deadpool and Wolverine and a potentially big hit in Captain America, New World Order, or Brave New World. Yeah, I keep forgetting it. They changed the title like 5 different times. But like, I don't know, how much are you going to be willing to sacrifice for what you originally had planned out to get you to Secret Wars versus, you know, because now we don't have Kang. Kang is out the window. So
unless they wrap him in Doomsday.
Kang?
Yeah, they might have to.
I don't know. We'll have to see.
I do one more thing. You said your crazy theory. My turn for my crazy theory. Secret Wars, there's one other player that's really important. Dr. Doom, the Maker, and Franklin Richards. Now, I know some people don't love Franklin Richards. In the comics, he's a very interesting character. He's a mutant, actually, but he's really important in Secret Wars.
Who is Franklin Richards, Annmarie?
Oh, sorry. Franklin Richards is the son of Reed Richards and Sue Storm. And he's very important because he can alter universes. At the end of Secret Wars, he's the one that combines all universes into one. Now, I understand that's really complicated and very confusing, but I have a crazy theory that Fantastic Four is actually being told by Franklin Richards.
Oh.
And maybe you do something interesting with him where he can bring in the mutants. Because again, Kevin Feige said next era's mutants, which is my favorite. And how do you bring them in? There's so much history to the mutants.
That's why you have the 20th Century Fox world colliding, and then it's just kind of like, you could have that whole colliding universe thing where you're talking about with Franklin Richards or whatever, where it's like this big collision point where you might not have those characters, like those same actors playing those characters per se that we've known and loved, but like, you would still have like a Wolverine just played by someone else, and you would have like, say, these mutants in the world, and that way it's more like you kind of hit the big reset button on Marvel.
I'm excited to see. Again, please don't waste Dr. Doom. Like, really don't. Like, he's so important, and I would hate to see him go to waste. Like, it's gonna suck if they do, but I'm so excited. Like, I get it. I'm a Marvel fan. I will always love Marvel, even in the lows. And we've been off a lot, but Deadpool and Wolverine brought it up. But, oh, man, I hope they do well.
Yeah. And, damn, like, we have so many theories, so many, like, ideas here that could have happened. I haven't been this excited about Marvel in a long time. So it's like, no matter what our theories and thoughts, no matter how much they differentiate, we can both acknowledge we're both really excited about what's coming next. And I think that, is honestly what Marvel needed to do, not only after Deadpool and Wolverine, but after Comic-Con, and just get the motor going again. And I think they've accomplished that.
Yeah.
So we just have to see if they can make the drive in the fantastic floaty car.
Let's go. It was so cool.
All right, guys. But hey, what are your thoughts on everything that's happened with Marvel since July 25th, essentially?
Yeah.
Are you guys excited for RDJ playing Dr. Doom? Do you guys agree with any of our theories? Annmarie's, mine? I mean, hey, whatever you're thinking, let us know your takes on our takes in those comments down below, and we will join you in that conversation once you make the effort. Kidding. Well, we love to talk to y'all.
Just like how Kevin Feige's making an effort on Blade. Oh, wait.
I didn't think there for a sec.
You're like, who's Blade again?
Blade? You mean like...
Mahershala Ali.
You mean like the type of donut, a Blade's donut?
Oh,
that was
very
stupid.
funny.
That was so stupid.
Let's wrap this.
Well, hey guys, thank you for joining us on this edition of Cassette Take. We hope you haven't ejected thus far into the podcast, but if you have, or you haven't, either way, please don't forget to rewind. I've been Ethan.
I'm Annmarie.
And take care.
Bye.
Dr. Doom!